Hey guys, I finally got my Joy-Con grip in, so now I can do the tutorial video for you on the magnetic mod for the Switch. So what you'll need on there is you're going to need a Phillips screwdriver, a 000 or a 00 screwdriver for you, so you're going to need one of those. You'll need a tri-wing screwdriver for the 6 screws on the outside of the grip itself and the 4 screws on the back. You can find tri-wing screwdrivers, you can order them on Amazon, eBay. I actually found a set at Lowe's. It's a brand from Cobalt. It actually came with 2 tri-wing screwdrivers on the very bottom, so these last 2 of them, really thin ones, and that's what you'll use for that as well. These are the magnets that I've used on my grip. These were some magnets that I picked up at Home Depot. They were about $3. They come in different forms, different sizes on here. The dimensions on this one is 3 inches by 11 inches, or 8 millimeters by 3 millimeters. It's just the right thickness for it to go inside of the Switch itself. I used super glue, so that way I can glue the magnets onto the base itself of each part of the Joy-Con grip. That way it just gives it a lot more, just a little bit more support on there. You can use other things as well, epoxy, Gorilla Glue on there. I just didn't want to use something so viscous, so that way it would be just a lot more, the magnets would have a stronger connection with each other on there. And then the last thing that you are going to need is an X-Acto knife to make some minor cuts on the Joy-Con grip itself, which I need to get actually. So you'll need also an X-Acto knife because you'll make 2 cuts on there. I used actually nail clippers. The thicker enough nail clippers also worked for me. So, or anything else, you'll need 2 cuts on there. But also for the sake of the video, I know there's like a 10-minute limit. I think YouTube posts on there. I'm going to do some things faster than others. So like with the magnets, for the example, I'll cut to the other Joy-Con grip so you can see exactly what I did there. So what you want to do is take your tri-wing screwdriver, and you're going to see 4 screws on the edge of each one first. You want to take these off first. I found you can take these off too, but I found it easier if you want to take these off first, so that way you can get started on the incision part of it. So I'll go ahead and I'll take those off for you. It's super easy to take off. And with the screws, if you just want to set them, just remember if you have like maybe a little cap, like a little bottle cap, or a little, maybe tiny little plates or a bowl to save your screws, because there are 3 different types of screws in here that you'll need. And so with that one, so this isn't going to be loose yet because there's a couple more screws that are going to be on the back side, but you are going to need to take these off for it. So now we're going to take off these 4 little screws on this side, and these are the same tri-wing screwdriver screws. The only thing that's different with them is that they are very much thinner than the 4 previous ones that we took off. So I'm going to keep them right there. Alright, and there's 4. There we go. So number 4 there for you. And then what's going to happen is that this top plate right here is going to come off. You just pull that right off. There's no force, there's no tabs or anything that comes off right. It just pops right off. And then on the inside, really kind of hard to see, but on right below, you're going to see 2 screws that are noticeable on there. And those are the other 2 tri-wing screwdrivers that are from the original 4 that you took off from the grips themselves. These, if you want to, so that way you have them organized and everything, if you want to put them in the right place, you can. But technically, these 2 screws, if you want to set them aside or put them in your parts bin or anything like that, you're not going to need these 2 screws anymore. So when you put everything back together, these 2 screws are not part of the final assembly anymore. So those 2 are gone. And now what you want to do is you're going to want to go ahead and take the grip completely off. It just comes right off. We'll set this one down for a side for a minute. And then we'll come out to this back side. This back side is going to have 4 Phillips head screws. And you're going to want to take your 00 Phillips head screwdriver and put those down. These 4 screws you also will not need anymore. So you can set those to the side. That's pretty much it. Now, for anybody that doesn't want to do the magnet mod and just wants to take off, just use the thin part of the switch, you're essentially done. So we can set this down for the side. All you would have to do is those very thin screws, you would put this tab back. Those very thin screws from before, you would just put these 2 back and you would have it at that setup where you have it to where you have it as just a normal style controller for you as well. But we're gonna do the little modification on the magnets here so that way we can use both orientations for you. So what you're gonna wanna do is once this is open for you, you're gonna wanna take your magnets, and what I found was the easiest to do was I took them out first. There's gonna be a lot more magnets in the box than mine. I just don't have that many magnets left anymore. It usually comes with 10. I used 8 magnets. I got 2 left over, but I'll show you it here. So once you open yours up, this opening right there, there's just enough space for you to put 4 magnets in there. And what I can recommend is actually aligning the magnets together first to find out which polarity they're on, and then placing it in there, and then go ahead and dabbing your super glue on all 4 sides on there, and then essentially into the layers. So you would just dab it on each side, just go ahead and just kind of align it where you can, but it fits perfectly in the 4 grooves right there. You don't have to do any incisions or cutting or anything like that on there. So once that one's done, you can set that one off to the side and let it dry up. The one that you'll need the X-Acto blade for is the one on the back. So on the back itself, you'll have, and I'll show you here, you have a place to put 4 magnets as well, same exact orientation. But what you want to do on there first before you align these magnets is make sure their polarity actually matches this polarity. So the best way I saw to do it is to do this one first, glue these ones on there first, and then put this onto the grooves, because this aligns itself with a groove. Go ahead and put it with a groove in there. You don't have to hold on to the magnets anymore because they're already glued in place. And then set your other 4 sets of magnets and put them in there, because what's going to happen is it's going to align itself properly to the magnets that are back here, and that allows you to have a stronger connection. So you'll have that on there, and then you would glue them on there. So after you glue that, this is where the minor modification comes in. The back of the grip, this guy right here, because you are no longer using those 2 little tri-wing screws anymore, they're not needed. And because of where they are, since they fit directly into this groove, they get in the way. Now, if you have smaller magnets, or if you want to just put 2 magnets in there in a straight line, you can do that too. I just found that having 4 magnets gives you just a little bit more force on there for you, so that's why it's a lot easier. So what you want to do is just make 2 incisions on there. Like I said, you can just use your X-Acto knife and just kind of cut it away. Use a pair of scissors, or it'll be like that for you to do. So and then it'd be just a matter of putting everything back together. So now for the sake of the video, I know it's probably ending up on time on there. I'm not going to really put it back together, but I can show you on there for you. It's just going to put it right here. Oh, okay. There we go. Okay. So the last incision, before I forget, on this plate, the one other incision that you're going to have to make is right inside here. You're going to see a little tab right there. It's the one in the middle of everything. Right there. You're going to want to take your X-Acto knife. I'm sorry, the one at the very top. So the one above the Switch logo, you're going to see a little plastic piece right here. Those have to come off. So you're going to have to cut that off by just placing your X-Acto and just running it down. It doesn't have to be perfect. It just as flush as you can with the actual sides themselves. So, there. And actually, if you can just bend it down with your finger and it comes right off. So that's the only other incision that you're going to have to make on there as well. So, and you can clean it up. I didn't get it perfectly on there. Yeah, you can clean it up on there for you. So you'll have to make that incision on there. So, and then the 4 magnets will be able to align themselves perfectly onto your actual device. And then the 2 incisions right back here for you. So make sure you cut these 2 tabs off. That way you're going to end up with something like that. So, and then it's just a matter of putting everything back in together, and you're all set. After that's all put back together, you have your magnets on there, you're good to go. So, all right. So that's the magnet mod for you. I'm sorry it took so long on there, but luckily you guys was able to send me a Joy-Con grip for us to do this little modification. So I appreciate you guys with the feedback with it and everything. I apologize once again for it taking so long for it, but yeah, it was a fun little mod to do, and see if any other mods I can see, or anybody has different things to show online, and to see different aspects of what people are doing with their Switches. I think it's really cool. Just let me know. I appreciate all the feedback. I really was not expecting to see so much feedback on here. It's really nice to see that and everything, and I'll see if I can post up more videos and stuff like that with different modifications and maybe different things in my room. So thank you so much for watching, guys. Take care. Bye.